All I ever wanted was to feel close to someone, to feel safe, to feel seen, and for a while it felt that way, warm, comforting, like I could finally breathe. But somewhere along the way, that warmth started to burn. I pulled back without meaning to. Even when my heart leaned in, my body froze, and I hated myself for it. It's not that I didn't care, it's just that closeness started to feel dangerous, too real, too vulnerable. And then the guilt crept in. Why can't I just let them in? Why do I always ruin things that matter? If you've ever felt this way, if connection feels like something you crave and fear at the same time, you're not alone. You're not broken, and maybe it's time we talked about why. For years, I thought there was just something wrong with me, that I was too sensitive, too distant, too cold. I couldn't explain why I pulled away when someone got close, why I felt relief when people canceled plans. Even though I also felt lonely right after, I used to call it shyness. Or tell myself I was just introverted, but deep down it felt heavier than that, lonelier than that, like I was stuck behind a glass wall. Watching life happen on the other side, that's when I came across something that changed the way I saw myself: avoidant personality disorder, AVPD. And suddenly, everything made sense. AVPD isn't just being shy or socially anxious. It's not about not liking people. It's about fearing what will happen when they truly see you, and believing, with your whole nervous system, that rejection is not just likely, it's inevitable. You live in a constant state of hypervigilance. You analyze every word you say. You replay conversations at night, cringing over things no one else even noticed. But it's not because you're dramatic, it's because somewhere along the way, you learn that closeness can cost you. Maybe as a child, love felt conditional. Maybe someone shamed you when you opened up, or ignored your needs when you were hurting. So you stopped reaching out. You stopped trusting your instincts. You learned to protect yourself by retreating, because being alone felt safer than being rejected. That's what AVPD feels like. You crave connection. But the closer someone gets, the louder the alarm bells in your body scream. And the hardest part, you might not even know that's what's happening. You just feel too much around people, and then not enough when you're alone. According to research, AVPD affects around 27% of the population. But experts believe the real number is higher. Why? Because so many people like me never seek help, not because we don't want it, but because the fear of being seen is just that strong. So if this sounds like you, please hear me when I say this. You're not broken, you're protecting yourself, and that makes perfect sense. But maybe, just maybe, you don't have to do it alone anymore. One of the hardest things about living with avoidant personality disorder is that people misunderstand you. They think you're cold, or distant, or uninterested. But the truth is the exact opposite. I feel everything. So much that it overwhelms me, so much that I shut down. And the worst part is, most of the time, I don't even realize I'm doing it. There are 5 patterns I've come to recognize in myself. And if you relate to any of them, I just want you to know you're not alone in this. 1. Low self-worth isn't a thought, it's a lens. It's not just that I think I'm not good enough. It's that I see myself that way by default. It's like looking into a funhouse mirror, except it's my reflection that's distorted. Compliments feel fake, kindness feels suspicious, and love feels like something I have to earn and that I'll probably lose. Psychologists call this a negative core belief system. It's shaped by early experiences, criticism, neglect, emotional abandonment. When those messages are repeated enough, they become internalized. So even when someone tries to love you, you filter it through a belief that says they don't really mean it. That belief isn't your fault, but healing starts when you start questioning it. Gently, consistently, with compassion. 2. The push-pull cycle isn't manipulation, it's panic. I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to get close to someone, only to feel this sudden panic rise in my chest. Everything gets loud, my thoughts race. My body freezes or pulls away. People call it mixed signals. But it's not that simple. It's my nervous system reacting to perceived danger. To it, closeness equals risk. It remembers pain, rejection, humiliation. So even though I want intimacy, my body says run. Then the loneliness kicks in, and I reach back out, only to retreat again. This back and forth isn't because I don't care, it's because I care too much. But I don't yet know how to stay when things get emotionally intense. The key I've found is awareness, noticing the fear, naming it, and breathing through it. That pause can change everything. 3. Hyperawareness isn't overthinking, it's self-protection. Sometimes being with others feels like walking through a minefield. I notice every sigh, every pause, every shift in tone. My mind races. Did I say something wrong? Are they mad? Are they about to leave? I used to think I was just sensitive, but now I understand it's hypervigilance, a survival response rooted in childhood when you grow up in an unpredictable or emotionally unsafe environment. Your brain learns to scan for threats constantly. It's exhausting, and it makes relaxation almost impossible. But it's not irrational, it's trauma logic, and it can be unlearned. Little by little, I'm learning to ask myself, is this person really pulling away? Or is it my fear looking for confirmation? 4. Fear of being a burden isn't humility, it's shame in disguise. I hate asking for help. I hate needing things. Even saying, I miss you, feels like too much. There's a part of me that whispers, if you open up, you'll scare them away. If you speak your truth, they'll leave. That voice didn't come from nowhere. It came from moments when I was too much for someone, moments when I felt like a problem instead of a person. So I learned to suppress my needs, to be the easy one, to handle everything alone. But what I've realized is this. People who truly care don't want the version of me with no needs. They want the real me. And the real me sometimes needs closeness, comfort, and reassurance. And that's okay. 5. Big emotions don't mean I'm weak. They mean I'm human. I feel things deeply, sometimes too deeply. Fear, sadness, joy, everything hits like a wave. It's not that I'm dramatic. It's that my brain is more reactive to emotional stress. Studies show people with AVPD often have more activity in the amygdala, the part of the brain that processes threat and emotion. That's why even good things, like falling in love, can feel overwhelming. I don't know how to just enjoy it. Because my system is wired to expect loss, to brace for impact, but I'm learning that I can feel everything without drowning in it, that I can let people in without losing myself, that I can trust again, slowly, carefully, but fully. Avoidant personality disorder isn't about apathy. It's not a lack of feeling. It's too much feeling wrapped in fear, shame, and old wounds. But the more I understand it, the more power I have to heal. And if any of this sounds like you, I hope you know you're not alone in this journey either. Healing avoidant patterns doesn't happen overnight. Trust me, if it did, I would have already flipped the switch and stopped running. But what I've learned is that healing doesn't begin with huge leaps. It begins with tiny decisions, repeated over and over again. Decisions to stay, to speak, to soften. Here are a few things I've been practicing that are slowly helping me feel safer in connection. 1. I name what's happening. Before, everything just felt like chaos. Now, when I feel myself withdrawing, I pause and say, okay, I'm overwhelmed right now. That doesn't mean I don't care. Just naming the feeling helps. Because when I know what I'm feeling, I don't let it control me, and I stop blaming myself for pulling away. 2. I practice microconnection. The idea of being close to someone all the time still feels scary. So I start small, 1 text reply, 1 minute of eye contact, 1 honest sentence. I remind myself that connection isn't all or nothing. It's a series of gentle moments built over time. 3. I rewrite my inner script. My brain used to whisper things like, "They're going to leave. You're too much. You're not lovable." Now I challenge those thoughts. I say, maybe that was true in the past, but not everyone is like them. It's hard. But every time I push back, even just a little, the script loses power. 4. I take space, but I explain it. Avoidant people like me need space to regulate. But I've learned that disappearing without a word hurts people who care. So now, I try saying, I need a little time to process, but I'm not giving up on us. It sounds simple, but that one sentence has kept more connections alive than I can count. It gives me what I need, and it gives the other person reassurance. That's what real communication looks like. 5. I don't shame myself for needing help. This one was the hardest, because I've always believed I should handle things alone, but healing is relational. You can't repair a wound caused in relationship without relationship. So I'm learning to open up to people who have earned my trust. To ask for support without apologizing for it. To let love in bit by bit. These habits aren't perfect. Some days I still retreat. Some days I still doubt everything. But more and more, I'm learning that I don't have to disappear to feel safe. I can stay and still be me. And that's the real victory. If you've ever felt like you're hard to love, or that you keep ruining the very closeness you crave, I hope you hear this. You are not cold. You are not broken. You are someone who learned to survive by pulling away. Avoidance isn't the absence of love. It's the fear of what love might cost. And that fear makes sense, but it doesn't have to define your future. Every time you pause instead of run, every time you speak, even when your voice shakes, every time you give yourself permission to be seen, you're healing something generations before you never had words for. That is courage, and that is love, just in a different language. If any of this resonated with you, feel free to share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear how you've navigated these moments and what helped you feel just a little bit safer in your skin. And if you're still learning how to stay, me too, we'll figure it out together. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to High Day Psych. For more stories like this one, told in your language, you deserve to be understood, and you are not alone.